I am not cool enough to wear Chacos, and that's the truth. I feel like people who wear Chacos are cool and they know that they're cool. They get like these cool Chaco tan lines. There's people who buy Chacos and then they go on the Chaco Reddit site and they ask people if their Chacos fit instead of asking the person that they bought the Chacos from who works at the shoe store. Anyway, Chacos are a thing. I am 45 years old and I bought a pair of Chacos last year because I decided I wanted to be cool and I wanted to wear Chacos like all the cool kids. And it's been quite the struggle. And today I just want to tell you about my complicated relationship with Chacos. For the past 4 years, the sandals that I have worn pretty much every day during the summer are this pair of Luna sandals. Lunas are like a minimalist design kind of sandal. The only reason I've been wearing Luna sandals is because I got them when I owned an outdoor retail store and one of the brand reps gave me a free pair of Luna sandals because he wanted me to sell Lunas at my shop. And that's how I got a lot of free stuff when I owned my shop. So I get this pair of Luna sandals. I think it was right around COVID. I didn't really like them at first because they didn't provide any support for my foot because, you know, they're minimalist sandals. But I just kept wearing them. And eventually I was like, whoa, I really like these sandals. And here's where the problem started because I liked my Lunas a lot, but eventually the sole just started to wear thin. And I was getting ready to go to Costa Rica a few weeks ago. And I looked at my Lunas and I was like, oh no, they're completely worn out. I can't wear these in Costa Rica. Like my big toe's gonna rub on the ground as I'm walking. So I need to buy new sandals. And then I remembered that a year ago, I had purchased a pair of Chacos for like 30 bucks at Sierra Trading Post, but I guess it's called Sierra now. So I had a pair of Chacos in my closet that I'd only worn a few times, and I thought this is a great opportunity for me to get out those Chacos and see if I can make them work. And then I put them on my feet and I remembered why I'd only worn my Chacos a few times and why they'd spent the past year in my closet. And that's because they're uncomfortable and I hate them. I think the straps were super rigid and tough against my tender feet. I have a fat big toe. At least I think my big toes are fat and they don't really fit well in the big toe straps. And I probably wouldn't have got the Chacos with the toe straps, but I got them for super cheap and I was going to become a Chaco girl. Anyway, I already said. Anyway, that's the thing. So the straps are uncomfortable. They don't feel good around my fat big toe. And I didn't wear them because they were just so tight. I bought the Chacos. A week later, I took them to Tanzania with me. I wore them for a couple days around Moshi, and then I flew right from Tanzania to Washington, D.C. for a family vacation. And I wore them for like 4 days around D.C., and my feet were all jacked up from climbing Kilimanjaro. And then wearing these crazy uncomfortable Chacos. That's when I put them in my closet and I just forgot about them. So I pulled them out of my closet a few weeks ago and I was like, I'm going to Costa Rica. I'm going to need sandals. I don't have time to order a new pair of Lunas. Plus, I already have these sandals in my closet. Let's just see if I can make them work because clearly a bazillion people are in love with Chacos and I'm the only one that doesn't like them. So I thought I need to figure out how to make it so these Chacos are not so miserable on my feet. So I thought I need to figure out how to make these Chacos just a little bit more comfortable so I actually can wear something that's already in my closet that I can save money and I don't have to go buy new sandals, blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to make them work. And I thought, how can I fix that? And I did a little experiment. I soaked my Chacos in hot water with fabric softener for almost an entire day to try to see if maybe the fabric softener would loosen up the straps on my Chacos. And so I filled up the kitchen sink with my Chacos, a little bit of fabric softener. I didn't have any liquid fabric softener. I just had the dryer sheets. So I just used those because I just want to use what I have. I let them soak and then I put them on when they were still wet and I wore them for the rest of the day and that was fine. I wasn't like, oh, these are amazing. The straps are suddenly really soft and comfortable. But I was like, I can tolerate these on my feet. The next morning, I got up, I put the Chacos on, I went and did some drone flying with my kid. I shot our video about this one right here about army gear that I still use as a civilian. And then by the time lunchtime rolled around, I picked up sandwiches for my family and I was like, I hate these Chacos. I never want to wear them again because they did not feel good on my feet. And I was kind of bummed because I just spent a whole day soaking them in hot water. I'd wasted a couple dryer sheets. I'd worn them the evening before and then the entire morning, and they did not feel good on my feet again. But here's the problem. I didn't have anything else to wear to Costa Rica. So I was flying out to Costa Rica like the next day. So I had no choice but to put my Chacos into my duffel bag and fly all the way to Costa Rica. I get to Costa Rica and we're doing all this adventure stuff. So sometimes I'm wearing my water shoes, my Astral river shoes, which are awesome. Sometimes I'm wearing running shoes. Sometimes I'm just wearing my flippy flops. But other times I need my Chacos because I need a little bit more stability and support with all the straps when we're wandering around the city and when we're doing things in Costa Rica. So I thought I'm just going to have to suck it up and wear these uncomfortable Chacos, and maybe by the end of the week, my feet will start to feel better in my Chacos. So I wore them on our trip to Costa Rica. And honestly, I was having such a good time on this trip that I didn't even think about how uncomfortable my Chacos had been. And I noticed that every single day that I wore them, they started to feel a little bit better on my feet. And by the last day of our trip, when we spent the entire afternoon wandering around San Jose, Costa Rica, doing all of the fun tourist stuff, I looked at my feet and I was like, whoa, they're actually kind of comfortable in my Chacos now. And I don't even notice that I'm wearing these heavy, bulky, weird sandals on my feet. And I also noticed that when I went to put them on, my feet slipped right into them. And that was something that I found super annoying in the past with Chacos, was like, I got to sit down and I got to spend all this time adjusting all these straps to try to figure out how to get my foot in there, and it's not comfortable. So I was really happy that at the end of our trip to Costa Rica, the Chacos felt like an extension of my foot. They did not hurt my feet anymore. The straps were not annoying. The straps had loosened up. The straps had softened up. And I could just shove my feet into my Chacos without needing to sit down and deal with all of the straps. So I get back from Costa Rica and I take a shower, get dressed the next day, get ready to start my work day. And what shoes do I choose? My Chacos over all of the other shoes and sandals in my closet. It's not even sandal weather yet, but I still chose my Chacos. So I don't know if I'm the only person out there that hasn't loved Chacos the moment that I shoved my feet into them. I don't know if I'm going to buy another pair of Chacos, but where I'm at right now is I bought these Chacos for like $30. I think I've broken them in so they're not quite so miserable, and I'm going to just keep wearing them until they wear out and then replace them with something else. Will it be another pair of Chacos? I don't know. Will I go back to Luna sandals? I don't know. And I don't have a Chaco tan line yet, but it's not like a big goal of mine. So I'm cool with that. If you've ever worn Chacos, I'd love to know if you are team, I love Chacos, they're amazing, or team, I hate Chacos, they're heavy, they're bulky, they're uncomfortable, and they make my toes feel weird. So let's talk about it in the comments below and then go watch this video next because YouTube thinks you're going to like it.